Watoto Shambani.
Hi children, do you know plants can also grow in pipes? Today, students from Tendake Junior Academy will show us how to grow plants in a vertical garden.
Hello children, welcome to Tendake Junior Academy. My name is Teacher George and welcome to our school garden. I can see you're excited, you even have your overalls on your shoulders. I believe you are ready to learn today. Who has a question? Yes.
My name is Ryan Oswanga and my question is, why are we not planting on the ground?
We can plant vegetables everywhere so long as there is soil. You can plant on the ground. But for us here as a school, we have chosen to use different systems, as you can see around.
My name is Valerie Kanaga and my question is, what are the systems?
Actually, as I said earlier, we have different systems. I want to make it simpler for you. We have different forms of the gardens. Actually, what you are seeing behind me here, they are called micro gardens. Or this is a micro garden. What do I mean by that? We are applying different forms of kitchen garden so that we can manage to grow a lot of crops within a very small space. So what you see here are different systems, or what we call the forms of kitchen garden. In front I have the two farms here, we call them the cone gardens. On the far end there I have the boxes. And behind me here we have what we call the vertical garden, whereby we use pipes to grow crops.
My name is Crystal Lair and I have a question. My question is, why are we planting in these systems?
We are planting on these systems, as I said earlier. We want to plant as many crops as possible within a very small space. And as you can see here, if you look at this cone garden, it's a small space going up. That means if you are to spread down here, you'll have a very big space for you to plant all these vegetables inside. So we are applying this system so that we can use the small spaces we have even back at home, but we plant as many crops as we can. And they're very easy to manage. That's why we are using these systems. They're easy to manage in terms of watering, in terms of pruning, and also managing the pests.
My name is Neema Zene and I have a question. How do plants grow?
Very good for your question. Actually, there are two ways of growing plants. One is growing plants in what we call a nursery bed, whereby we plant the very tiny seeds. And there is another way of planting direct to the seed bed. There are two types of beds. We have the nursery beds, which is a small bed whereby we first grow the small seeds. And you have the bed whereby now we transplant the small seedlings when they grow to a maximum of around 5 centimeters. We transplant them to the main beds. For our systems here, spinach has to be, as you can see, we have some spinach here and some onions. First, we grow them in a nursery bed, whereby after they germinate, after a short time, that is within 3 to 4 weeks, we uproot them from the nursery bed. Then we bring them to our cone garden. There we dig holes and then we transplant them, and I'm going to show you how we do that later.
My name is Kennedy Ojani and I have a question. How do plants grow in the system?
Very good. How do you grow these plants in these systems? Number one, we prepare the system. We prepare this cone garden. We prepare the pipes. We put soil inside. We prepare the other forms, as I said earlier. Are we together? Yes. And once we have mixed soil with manure and we are certain that everything is ready, we do what we call transplanting. What is transplanting? It is removing that small seedling from the nursery bed to the seed bed. Are we together? Now my systems are acting as a big farm, which we are calling the seed bed. So after we have uprooted, we are going to transplant. To transplant, transfer. What is transfer? Moving from one place to another. And in this case, we are transferring those plants. We are transferring what? The plants. That's why we are saying transplanting. From the nursery bed to now my systems. Okay? Then we dig holes and we put them inside. Then we water, and the rest they just grow by themselves.
My name is Jamal Migai Owora and I have a question. My question is, why do we water plants?
Why do we water plants? In science, we have what we call living things and non-living things. Plants fall under the living things. Are we together?
Yes.
And for living things to survive, number one requirement, there must be water. So for our plants to grow to the level now we can say we should harvest them, number one requirement, we must water them. They are living things. They need water just like humans. Do you drink water?
Yes.
Yes, without water, dust comes and maybe probably you even die. The same case with the plants. If you don't water them, they just dry and die. That's the reason why first we must water the what? The plants. Children,
Yes.
I have talked about transplanting, whereby I said it is moving the plants from the nursery bed to our systems or to a place where you want to plant them. One reason that I didn't mention is that we also want to space these plants because when they are so congested, they really compete for food. Plants also eat. They compete for space and even the nutrients in the soil. So another reason why we transplant is to spread them. And I'm going to show you how we spread them through transplanting. So children, are you excited?
Yes.
Yeah, I can see you excited and you're really wishing to see that transplanting happening. You also want to feel it. So I can see you've carried your overalls. It is time now that you put on those overalls. Some have boots. You can also put on your boots so that you don't get messy. So for the girls, you go that way. Look for a good space to change. And for the boys, I believe you can still do it from around. Okay? Yes, let's do that. Wow, I can see you're back and now you're different in your aprons. So, as I said earlier, we have our system here. I called it vertical garden. The good thing about this garden is that it uses what we call the drip lines or the pipes. So you don't necessarily have to come carrying jerry cans and watering these plants. The moment you have a pipe, you just connect to those jets there and the water flows inside. Okay? I talked about transplanting in the morning, and I said that transplanting is that process of taking plants from a nursery bed to a seed bed. Now our vertical garden here is going to act as our seed bed. Are we together? So I have some young plants, we call them seedlings. As you can see, this is a seedling. It is still a young plant, okay? So I've taken it from the nursery bed, and now it's time I show you how you plant it inside this system. Are we together? Maybe I'll give you one, each one of you one. After I'm done demonstrating how it is done, then I'm going to give you a chance to transplant. Are we together?
Yes.
The first step, you have to ensure that your seed bed is wet enough so that it can hold the plant by the roots. Are we together? Now I'm going to use mine here. I already have mine. Oh, sorry. So this is mine. I'm going to show you how we do it. So this is my demonstration, okay? This is a seedling. This is a what?
Seedling.
And what I'm doing is called? Again, children?
Transplanting.
So I am transplanting. The first step. So I'm going to use this index finger, and this is what I'm going to use to drill my holes, because my soil is soft enough and safe for my finger to get inside. Are we together? So should we go ahead? Thank you. So I'm going to dig a hole here, as I said, and then my plant, together with the roots must get inside. You ensure that as it goes down, it goes to the same level it was at the nursery bed, where you see the soil reaching. Okay, so I'm going to dig to dip it inside there, and then I'm going to return the soil using the same index finger. I return the soil back, and now my hole is fully covered. Now my plant is ready. I just need some water. I open the drips and all is good.
Today we have learnt about planting in a vertical garden. What can you remember? On today's pop quiz, name 3 steps done in planting in the vertical garden. Name 3 steps done in planting in the vertical garden. Remember to start with your name, the name of your school, followed by the answers. Thank you for watching today's episode of Watoto Shambani. See you next week for another exciting episode. Bye!